Okay, we're starting off laying down so that we can just allow the low back to kind of neutralize and lengthen onto the floor. Allow the chest to peel open toward the ceiling. Maybe your knees knock together or drift apart, or maybe your legs are straight, but be comfy, please. And then find your breath. Long inhales, big exhales. See if you could feel your chest and your belly expand a little more with each inhale. And become aware of the strength in your belly on the exhale, belly button moving towards spine. Cleaning out the lungs. Fill your lungs. Empty your lungs. Continue to focus on your breath and just making it really deep. You might intentionally lengthen it by a second or 2 or 3. And as always, when you're beginning your practice, this is a really good time to scan your body. Notice what places you feel the most, what places you don't really feel, what places feel great, and what places feel stuck. Who knows what you'll discover? But if you find places that feel like they're kind of holding on, for example, maybe your hips feel like they're kind of holding on, maybe clenching. Our hips tend to do things like that. See if you could intentionally soften and let go there. Maybe your chest, your arms, okay? Depending on what we do during the day, our arms and our chest can hold a lot of tension. And what about face tension? What about your jaw? You use that thing all day long, most of us, and it doesn't really get stretched out. So maybe, if you don't mind spending a few moments with your jaw wide open, still breathing through your nose. It's good for your jaw. As you rest with your jaw open like a big angler fish, watch your thoughts and just notice with amusement and compassion what kind of thoughts your mind comes up with. And then as you're ready, extend your legs out all the way if they were bent at the knee. Extend your arms out all the way if they were bent at the elbow. And just take a nice stretch, a very luxurious stretch. Fingers and toes reaching away from each other like you just woke up and you're feeling great. And then could we take this a little bit more into the side of the body? So what would it feel like if you reached out a little more through your right and left side? Through your right hand and foot. So right foot is reaching away, right hand is reaching away. What if we put a little bit of contraction into the left side body using those obliques? Think of wrapping your belly button down toward the floor here. Take a few more breaths into that right side. Okay, if you like this and you want a little more, you can deepen this by walking your feet further out to the left, moving your hands further out to the right, Maybe hooking your right ankle on your left knee. Continue to pull the belly button down. Contract the left side. Lengthen the right. Right ankle is hooked over left ankle. Maybe the left hand moves that right wrist a little further out to the left. So you can really deepen this curve along your right side if you choose. And remember to breathe. Maybe one more big breath into that right side body. And as you're ready, let's bring this through center. And we'll take the shape out to the other side. So what if your left side lengthened through the fingertips, through the toes, a little more than the right? So maybe the right side starts to contract a little bit, that oblique, the obliques on the right, and keep wrapping that belly button downward. Don't let it arch up too much. Okay, maybe this is enough. Maybe you want to actually move your feet to the right and move your hands to the right. You can stack left ankle over right. You can grab left wrist with right hand and move it even more. So feel free to make that left side curve as deep as you'd like. Breathe deeply into your big left side. As you're ready, let's bring this back through center. Come on through. If you just bring your hands down by your hips here, bend your knees, bring the feet in close. We'll take some bridges, nice little bridges. So before we start to move, remember your engagement between your two legs. So your feet are grounded. There's some space between your feet, your knees, and your hips. As a matter of fact, if you look up at your legs, you'll see that your two legs are in two completely parallel planes. Hips, knees, feet on the same parallel planes. That being said, space between your knees, but put some engagement between them. So the two legs are trying to move together, but there's a spacer between them that won't let them go together. So you feel how you activated your core by activating those legs toward each other. So keep your nice active core, please. As you lift your hips toward the ceiling, you can take a big breath in right here. And exhale to roll it down. Let's take a few more like that. Inhale, roll it up. Exhale, roll it down. If you want to really focus on spinal mobility here, you can exaggerate that peeling up and down movement of the spine. Make sure, however, that spine wave doesn't extend up to your cervical spine, to your neck. And you can keep that neutral by pointing your nose straight up. All right. Okay, nice. Moving in the spine. So next time you come up, let's hold up there and just breathe. Hold and breathe. Okay, so push the floor just as much as you'd like. Okay, keep that squeeze between your knees. And put a gentle engagement of your heels toward your shoulder blades. So you'll definitely feel your hamstrings turn on here. Heels moving back to the shoulder blades. The kneecaps are still trying to move together. One more big breath in here. And exhale. Roll your spine down. Let's take some windshield wipers after that. You can just drop your legs side to side. And feel the floor massaging out your glutes. Okay, a nice little low back twist as well. As you're ready, just cross your right leg over your left. Okay, and you always have the option to cross the ankles as well if that's appropriate. But if it's uncomfortable, don't worry about it. It's not necessary. Let's take arms out wide here. Then we'll start to drop the legs to one side, hovering them without letting them go all the way down. Bring them through center. and drop them to the other side. So your shoulder blades are remaining grounded while you do this. And that's kind of important. Notice if the shoulder blades tend to peel up. Next time your legs drop to any side, just whatever side they drop to, leave them there. Okay? Make sure the opposite shoulder blade is grounded. And then maybe the hand that is close to the legs grabs the knee. Let's take some breath here. If you want a more deep and satisfying twist here, if it's not enough for you, move your shoulder blades in the direction that your knees are. So move your shoulder blades towards your knees. And then your spine will probably be able to twist more fully. One more big breath in here. Keep your legs crossed just like they are. The right leg is still crossed over the left. Just bring them through center and drop them to the other side. That's all. Drop and hold right here. So look in the opposite direction that your knees are pointing. Ground that shoulder blade. And if you want more of a twist, just scoot your shoulder blades in the direction of your knees. Maybe grab a knee. Long spine inhale. Belly button to spine, exhale. As you're ready, bring the legs up and in. We can untangle all of the legs. And let's put them up in the air. Just invert the legs for a little while. Circling out the ankles is nice. And it's nice, it's kind of us to give our hearts a break every now and then and get the legs up in the air. It just allows all the fluid in your legs to more readily come back down to your torso, and your heart doesn't have to work so hard. And also helps to lower your blood pressure and decrease cortisol levels. Inversions are great for just about every problem you could possibly have. That being said, feet back on the floor. Let's take the left leg over the right. Maybe cross the ankles. Okay, arms are out wide, side to side. Nice little twist. Look away from the knees as you move them to the side. Look away from them as you move them to the other side. Let's take a few more. Maybe close your eyes. Okay, next time your legs drop to any side, let them fall there. Perhaps shoulder blades want to move in the direction of the knees to have that most twisty twist. Hold and breathe. Long spine inhale. Maybe there's a knee grabbing the legs. Strong belly button to spine. Exhale. Bring the legs back in. Keep them crossed, left over right. Drop them to the other side. Okay, maybe shoulder blades move towards your knees. Look away from your knees. Long spine. Strong exhale. On your inhales, think of kind of arching your spine up off the floor while grounding your shoulder blades. One more breath here. As you're ready, roll that back in. And again, let's get all the legs up in the air again. Just feels nice. Circle the ankles out. Okay. As you're ready, tuck your hands behind your knees and we'll rock it up. Come on up. Point all your legs to one side and we'll come to hands and knees. So once you're here, let's just do some gentle cat-cows. So gripping the mat, a little squeeze between your elbows, a little lift in your belly button. Heart moves forward on your inhale. And push the floor away on your exhale. Think of getting a nice opening in the back of your body, between your ribs, between your shoulders. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, heart. Push this floor down, rolls up toward the spine. Keep going. Maybe close your eyes. And then let your head really hang when it hangs. When your exhale pushes against the floor. Okay, coming back to a flat back, let's just take a moment for wrist care, okay? We all use our wrists a lot. They're overworked, they're underappreciated. So flip your hands over so your fingers point at your knees and your palm is facing up. Okay, if two hands is too much, just do one hand at a time, okay? But if you can feel good about both sets of fingers pointing back, palm up, we'll just roll around over the hands. Think of rolling gentle circles. Okay, should feel pleasant, should never feel bad. Reverse. And let's point the fingers out to the side. Roll around. And reverse. Let's point the fingers in. Same thing, roll around. Okay, one more. Fingers point forward, and we gently rock back and forth. So palms are facing up here. Okay, and now we're gonna flip the pancake over. So palm down now, fingers pointed at your toes. Palm down. Let's rock around little circles. Okay, and you might even, if it feels nice, lean back with your hips towards your heels and really peel your wrists up on the way back. So option to make that nice and deep if that's pleasant. Roll it around the other direction a few times. All right, point the fingers in toward each other. Palm down, little circles. Both directions. And one more. Point the fingers out away from each other and gently rock side to side. All right, I think we got all the things a wrist can do. But if you take a little moment here, just sit back on your feet and shake out your wrists. I bet they feel pretty good. So you can always do that during the day if you're working on a computer and your wrists are bothering you. I want to encourage you to treat your wrists right, and they'll take good care of you too. So as you're ready, hands back on the floor, just long enough to tuck your toes, lift your hips, and find a nice fold. So we'll just take a moment to hang here. You might widen your feet and bend your knees. You may even grab your elbows. But please be sure that your low back is truly hanging out of your spine, okay? And your chest is close down by your knees. If your chest stays up by your hips, I want to invite you to put your hands on your knees so that your upper body's not hanging and flexing unsupported. That would be dangerous for your spine. Okay, as you're ready, walk your hands forward, come back down to hands and knees, and we'll meet here. Let's get the right knee up and circle it out. Let's keep it level with the floor. Let's keep the two hips, the right and left hip, level with the floor for now. So we'll avoid lifting the right hip to give us a greater range of motion. at first. Notice how limited you are. And then rewind. Keep the hips level with each other, please. Now let's pick the right hip up, stack it over the left. Notice how much more space you have. And rewind it a few times. Okay, next time that right knee moves forward, see if you can step the right foot outside your right hand. And maybe we move the back knee, the left knee, back a little bit. Or maybe that's too much. If the hips hang too low, you can always bring it back forward. Okay, so we'll just rock the hips out a few times, forward and back. You can flex the right foot when you pull back so that you get that opening all along the back of the right leg. But we're not super warm, so feel free to make it really gentle. Next time you come forward into your lunge, let's just hang out here a little bit. Now remember, in our lunge, we're being relaxed, okay? We're being relaxed and low. However, we still want a little bit of engagement between the legs. So make sure that there's a little bit of pull together between your knees. Okay, of course, they won't actually pull together, but if they could, they would be squeezing together, okay? So keep that engagement between them. And then as you're ready, reach up with your right hand. Take a big breath in right here. Keep your legs active. And as you exhale, bend that right elbow. Move it towards your left wrist, okay? How close can you go? You can bend that left wrist as much as you need. Let's inhale, bring it up. Reach up with your big chest, okay? Especially on that right side. Exhale, right elbow to left wrist. Close as you want to go. One more time. Big breath in. Come on up. Big exhale. Come on down. Let's lift up and just hold here. Just breathing. Make sure that bottom elbow, the left elbow, is bendy. So you could definitely bend it right now. It's not locked. Okay? The right elbow can bend too, and you can kind of peel open the chest on both sides, and that might feel nice. Maybe close your eyes. If you need a way out, just drop your right hand and pull your hips back a little bit. But if everything's going great, maybe you tuck the back toes and hover the back knee, maybe even extending the back knee, only if that's okay with your legs and your left quad and hip flexor. One more big breath in here. And with your exhale, drop the left knee, okay? Use this right leg to press on up. Come up into your low lunge. So feel free to move the back knee forward if it's not really sustainable for you to have it back there, and come up into your lunge. Because we'll be up here for a little while. Go ahead and reach up tall. Okay, think about wrapping your belly button in towards your spine here. And remember that gentle engagement that we want between the legs, okay? We need at least a little something, a little activity between the two knees, please. So with your inhale, wrap that belly button in. Think of lifting your heart up toward the ceiling. If you had a basketball, you'd be trying to hand it to someone a little bit behind you. With your exhales, drop your fingers on either side of that right leg. Okay, pull your hips back, kind of like we did before. Point the toes of the right foot at your nose. So nice flex in your right ankle. Let's do that again. Right foot comes down to the floor. You're back in your lunge. Inhaling here, Anjaneyasana, big heart, strong legs. Exhale, hands down, fingertips down under shoulders. Okay, moving that right hip back, right toes point at your nose. Let's do that a few more times, okay? You get the idea. You can just move like this at your own pace. Let this be kind of a moving meditation. Feels nice. Maybe one more time. Okay, one more. And next time your hands come down, we'll bring it back to hands and knees. So pull yourself up out of this. Tuck your toes. And we'll lift knees and walk hands back to feet and take another little fold. So again, the knees might come, or the feet might come wide. The knees might bend. And the head definitely will hang, okay? Maybe you grab your elbows, or maybe this time you join your hands behind your back. Try to get your palms together. And then what if you could move your elbows toward each other and away from your head? So elbows move together and away. Hold and breathe. Take a few more breaths here. All right, opening up the fronts of the shoulders. Still keeping that long neck. As you're ready, release that. All hands will come back down to the mat. Walk your hands forward, and we're back on hands and knees. So here we are. Let's just do the other side. So the left knee will come up, and without lifting the left hip above the right, let's just circle it out for a little bit. Go ahead and switch sides, or switch directions. Take it back the other direction. All right, now pick up the left hip, externally rotate it, stack it on top of the right. Take a few more really big circles in both directions. Go ahead and rewind that. Okay, next time the left knee moves forward, see if you can drop it outside your left hand. And we'll rock hips forward and back. And you can just begin to gently open up the back of the left leg this way. And also the front of the right hip. So find a gentle movement that works for you. As you're ready, settle down into a little lunge, okay, something sustainable for you to sink down into. And get the left hand up. Big breath in here, reaching up with that left hand. Think about how big your chest is as you reach up. And with your exhale, bend the left elbow. How close can you bring it to the right wrist? Remember, you can bend that right elbow, no problem. Let's do that 2 more times. Big breath in on the way up. Unwinding your chest. Big exhale on the way down. One more. Big breath in. Big exhale. Now this time, let's just reach up and hold. Big breath here. Make sure the bottom elbow is bent, okay, so it's not locking. It's soft. And maybe the top elbow bends too. And with both elbows bent, could you get a feeling of kind of cactusing open your chest? If you need a break, you can always just come down to the left hand. So keep that in mind. But if you want a little bit more here, feel free to tuck the back toes. That's the right toes. And hover that right knee. Maybe even thinking of pushing back through the right heel. Nice breath here. One more big breath in. And come on down. Okay, find a comfy lunge here that you can come up into. So as you're ready, use that left leg to press on up. And reach up. Find your low lunge, Anjali Asana. And so, imagine you have your imaginary basketball, you're moving it back behind you, your belly button is in, your legs are gently engaged toward each other, and your heart is lifting. So we'll begin to move just like we did before, that little mini flow. So with your inhale, you're here in your low lunge. With your exhale, your fingers drop under your shoulders, and you can pull the left hip back, point the left toes at your nose, and feel the back of the left leg really open up. So let's do that a few times. You just use the pace of your breath. Inhale for the low lunge. Okay, you feel your right hip flexor, quad opening up. And exhale for your half split. Okay, Ardha Hanumanasana. Keep breathing. Anjaneyasana. Ardha Hanumanasana. Maybe 3 more just like this. Okay, keep it going. Two more. Last one. Okay, come on up. Find your low lunge and hold, and we'll just be in this lunge for a little while. So pull the knees toward each other. Lift your heart a little more. Pull the belly button in. Hand your basketball to someone behind you. One more big breath in. And exhale. Fingers drop under your shoulders. Find that half split. Okay, roll the hips back. Pause here. Get a nice flex in your left foot. Okay, really nice flex. Think of dropping into that left heel and pulling back through the left hip. One more big breath here in your half split. And we're letting it go. Putting that left foot back on the floor. Let's bring it back to hands and knees. From here, walk yourself back to another fold. Okay, maybe feet are a little bit wide. Walk it on back. Take a moment here. Okay, now that we just really opened up the backs of the legs, try taking one hand to each calf and gently hugging your knees in towards your heart. Shake your head out. And then as you're ready, walk your hands back forward. Knees are down. Let's take our feet wide and go to, our knees wide. Take your knees wide. So if you had a mat, okay, knees would be about as wide as your mat. Maybe narrower if that's not working for you. And then take your fingertips out. Press down into your fingertips, but lift up in your palm. Okay, and try to keep your hips right over your knees. Lift your belly button in towards your spine, almost like you're trying to point your tailbone down here. Could you look at your fingers and begin to drop your heart toward the mat? You might have to walk your fingers forward, but you're thinking about dropping that heart down, down, down. You may take several breaths to do this, but eventually your nose or forehead might touch the floor. Your chin or throat or rib cage may touch the floor, but you're thinking about moving those elbows and armpits out away from each other. Just expanding all that chest space down toward the mat. Big breath. When the belly button wraps up and in, it takes this extension out of the low back and puts it in the upper back where we want it. One more big breath in here, yogis. Anahatasana, open heart pose. As you're ready, roll yourself back up out of this. You can find your hands back underneath your shoulders. And we'll sit the hips out to one side. And come on back to a seat. We made it. Come on back. If you lay down and just hold your knees and rock for a little while, you'll give your low back a nice massage. And then reach between your knees here. You can start with your hand on your shins. Okay. And if that's fine, just think of allowing the just natural weight of your arms to encourage your knees down toward the floor. And hopefully you're feeling a nice inner thigh opening. If you want to hang out here, just hang out here. But if you choose, you can start walking your hands down towards your ankles. Again, encouraging the knees downward. Maybe your hands walk out to the sides of your feet. Again, encouraging knees downward. We might have to put a little extra effort into grounding our shoulder blades now, so go ahead and become aware of that. And perhaps you wrap your thumb and bunny finger around each big toe. Again, move the knees downward and ground those shoulder blades, but now maybe we can step the feet up toward the ceiling. Hang out right here, just breathing. It's nice to build a little bit of a rock into this position, a little rocking. But think of pressing the back of your body down as you rock. So your tailbone is still moving downward. Your shoulder blades are still moving downward. And maybe experiment with bending one knee and extending the other one more. Just see what's available there. Switch sides, bend and extend. Try it a couple more times. Bend and extend. Just notice what kind of space is available in the backs of the legs. Okay, next time your feet come inward, what would happen if we slowly, very respectfully extended both legs? Just enough to where you feel the hamstrings opening up. You feel the right kind of opening in the places you want it, no pain, no strain. And you can just take a few breaths like that. Nice, silly little posture. Okay, happy baby pose. As you're ready, friends, release your legs. Put your feet back on the floor. And take some windshield wipers. And then we'll release the left leg out long on the mat. We'll bring that right knee in. Give it a really nice squeeze towards your heart. If your knee is sensitive, you can use your hands behind the thigh, but the front of the shin works really well for getting it in towards your heart. So ground those shoulder blades, knee to heart, breathe. If you're not really getting any hip opening here, then first of all, good for you. You've got nice open hips. The second, if you really want a little hip opening, you can press your right knee into your hand as your hand presses down on the right knee. So you can kind of resist yourself a little bit. Notice how that feels. So what you're doing is activating your own hip flexor as you lengthen it. So that's the best kind of stretch we know of. It's called an eccentric contraction, lengthening while contracting. All right, little yoga nerd moment for you. As you're ready, use just your left hand to move the right knee to the left. So turning this into a twist means that we need to look away from that knee over to the right. Feel free to move your shoulder blades a little bit more to the left so that you get that twist that you're looking for. And breathe. Long spine inhales. Strong belly exhales. Bring that right leg back in. And let's release it out, long on the floor. Left knee comes in. Okay, for a healthy knee, we can grab the front of the shin. For an injured knee, we can grab the back of the thigh. But either way, try to move that knee toward the center of your chest. Ground your shoulder blades and breathe. You can experiment with resisting your own strength for a little while. Okay, finding a nice eccentric contraction in that left hip flexor. And then just the right hand moves the left knee to the right. Okay, we might move our shoulders a little bit to the right so we get that good twist. Let's look to the left. Shoulder blades down, please. Long spine, inhale. Belly button to spine, exhale. About 2 more breaths, please. Last breath. As you're ready, bring that left leg back in. Shake it out on the mat. Find your resting posture here. It may be a Shavasana, long arms, long legs. Fidget until you've made it so comfortable that there's not a single part of your body that can't just let go right here. The breath comes effortlessly through your nose. And use this time to think really good thoughts. Think about something really good. See if you can use all of your senses in this imagining that you're doing to make this good thing that you're thinking about so real. You can feel it. It's like you're there. It's like it's actually happening right now on your mat. And take this time just to breathe and be with yourself, thinking good thoughts. Please keep resting like this for as long as you can. Thank you so much for joining me.